The Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I lie down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea, though I rasta go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil, for thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Who prepared a table before right in the presence of our enemy them. Who anointed I head with no oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy I go follow I all the days of I Ivan. May I go dwell in the house of the Lord God Jah. We gromabia tela exag beer tala istalina bashante shante. Kadama we gromabia tela This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodamo, where we speak truth to power, and my name Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot. And each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different shapes, sizes, and even colors, and even aromas. Put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot. They are subjected to some amount of heating, then they produce food. Ironically, they do not even partake in the eating of the food. It is you and I who do. The eaters. Yet every time the ingredients and the black pot will rise to the occasion to produce food that they do not even partake in eating. This teaches us a lesson of selflessness, a lesson of generational thinking. How many of us believe that we have it all? Let us use it all. After all, tomorrow shall take care of itself. How many people believe that all poor people are lazy? How many people believe that it's by the dint of hard work that they have been able to achieve whatever they have achieved, and therefore no other person is deserving of partaking in the enjoyment of whatever they have? How many people believe that we must think about the next generations to come? So, in whatever we do, we must consider them. This is the Black Pot, and this is what the show is all about, generational thinking. We are rewiring the mindset of the average African. Now, if the mindset of the average African was resetted well, Africa would be the capital of the world. Now, the problems of Africa do not even include the problems of schools and hospitals and even roads. Because if the mindset was right, all these things will be fixed by individuals without having to wait for the government to do anything. People will build schools. People will build roads. People will even build hospitals. How many rich people do we have in our area who can build roads for the whole region? Yet even that small stretch of road in front of their mansions, full of potholes, they will never build. The mindset is wrong. We pay taxes to the government, so the government must do everything. How many people believe that, oh, once we are paying taxes to the government must do every little thing, even if we can support? We've paid our taxes already. Why should we do that? Forgetting the bigger picture, which is Ghana. The scenario is very simple. It's like you paying a boatman to row you to the other side of the river. And whilst you are sitting in the boatman seems to be sleeping and is so sluggish, very lazy. And then the boat is not moving and is about to sink. Would you sit down and say that because you paid the boatman to row you to the other side, you are not going to take the oar from him and row the boat to safety? Will you sit down and say that I paid you, so you must make it happen? My brother, my sister, that is how we run a nation. The boatman alone cannot run the nation. We need to be checks and balances for our leaders. That is why this show is here. Recently, the Asante Yini said, oh, people in the Ashanti region, every household should try and contribute 200 Ghana cedis to salvage the Okonfo Anochi Teaching Hospital, AKAG. Many were those who came out to tongue lash him. Many were those who said, why? With all the gold money, why do you need people to pay, every household, to pay 200 Ghana cedis? Why are we paying taxes to the government? The government must do that. And then some other people said, oh, Mahama built some hospitals in the region. Why are they not thinking about salvaging those hospitals, but rather G? My brother, did you hear yourself? G is so historical. G is one of the very first hospitals to be built in the region and even beyond. G carries the name of a great ancestor of our land. It's so historical. You cannot compare the Tamale Hospital to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Hospital, because that carries the name of a powerful man. Neither can you compare the hospital in Accra, Kolebu, to the Okonfo Anochi Teaching Hospital. Now, Kolebu Teaching Hospital is named after an area, whilst the hospital in Kumasi is named after an individual. That's how powerful it is. An individual has contributed so much that he has risen above the multitudes, and therefore he has to be honored. He was one of those who founded Ashanti. He was the master tactician and the master spiritualist. So if Asante Yini says, well, Asante Mine is going to pay from the gold money to build the hospital, it's still the mindset. Many are those who are still going to deteriorate the hospital. But if the people are made at least to contribute some token in the building of the hospital, they will always remember and assume that every block they see in there came from out of their pockets. It will help them treat the hospital with the passion that it deserves. Not many people will agree with me, but that's how I see it. And as I said, I am going to contribute towards the building of that hospital. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And we are live on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Blakk Empire Media, and Blakk is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Oh yes, we are also live on Facebook, and our Facebook page is Blakk Empire Media. Same way, Blakk is spelled B-L-A-K-K. I want to say thank you so much. Please subscribe to our channels and hit on the bell, the notification bell, so that each time we are on, you would be the first person to see us. I want to say thank you so much to Isit. Isit is I-S-I-T. It is the newest social media app that everybody's talking about, built by Ghanaian engineers in America, and is doing wonders. You can go live on Isit. You can make audio and video calls at the same time. You can also do text messaging. And it's easy to be on Isit. How do you do it? Just download the app from Google Play and App Store, and we are on. Now, the other extraordinary thing about Isit is that apart from connecting with family and friends and making crystal clear memories, it is 100% positive, no negativity. There are powerful algorithms that remove every little negative thing before it even comes out. That's what we nip it in the bud. Powerful algorithms. You see why you should be here. Connect with family and friends, join other like-minded people, and make sure that you connect with Isit. Yes, this is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Now today we have 6 issues to look at. And the first one is not very, very appetizing. Run it, my youth. Now the first story we are looking at today says, watch it, Ghanaian player commits suicide. Come here. Raphael Dwamena is his name. Raphael Dwamena. From Dwamena, you know that this is Ghanaian. This is him. He's played for the national side before. People know him. Better still, people knew him He was respected. My brother. But he died. How did he die? He committed suicide. Shall we prove this? Run the story. And this one is from DW, Deutsche Welle. It says, Ghana's Dwamena dies after on-field collapse. Former Ghanaian international football player Raphael Dwamena has died at the age of 28 after collapsing on the field in Albania. Doctors had called for him to retire in 2021 when he collapsed during a game in Austria. In the 23rd minute of an Albanian Superliga game between FK Ignatia and Partizani, tragedy struck. Raphael Dwamena collapsed on the field and died on Saturday. The former Red Bull Salzburg academy player who won 9 caps for Ghana between 2017 and 2018 was stretchered off the field, and despite attempts to resuscitate him, he was later pronounced dead. The talented striker's stop-start career was blighted by his heart issues, and despite calls for him to retire earlier, Dwamena was unable to step away from the game he loved. Dwamena's amateur career began at Red Bull Ghana before he switched to Austria to play in Salzburg. Before he switched to Austria to play in Salzburg. But it was at Austria, Lustenau, and then FC Zurich, where Dwamena announced himself as a top forward, scoring 21 goals in 51 games in the single season. He played for the latter in 2017 and 2018. Zurich was among his football clubs to pay tribute to the stricken forward on social media. And this is what they put out, FC Zurich. Rest in peace, Raphael Dwamena. And they wrote something in, I believe, German, whatever it is. My brother, my sister, he's gone. Why has he committed suicide? This was when he landed. The ambulance came in. Players came around him. They tried to push him on and resuscitate him. But no, they had to carry him straight up and then take him away dead. He committed suicide. The doctors told him 2 years ago, Raphael Dwamena, your heart is in a predicament that will not allow you to play football. He collapsed and he was told to stop the game. But he loved the game more than his life. So he decided to play the game and push away his life. My brother, my sister, he loved the game more than he loved his own life. No human being should ever love a game more than his life. I do understand when a man sacrifices for the multitudes and loses his life, it means in place of many people dying, he decided to go down, but not for a game. It is not worth it for any human being to lay down his life because of a game. Some people might not agree. But today, at the age of 28, he's gone. He was warned by the doctors. Stay away from the game. You have a heart problem. This is not the first time we are hearing footballers die like that on the pitch. We all remember Nigeria's Samuel Okwaraji. And we also remember Senegal's striker and some other such people going down the drain. I'm not a big fan of football. But we remember all these people. My brother, my sister, we also remember Nwankwo Kanu, who was told right from the middle of his career that he had a heart issue. My brother, my sister, he started moving from one spiritualist to the other, including TB Joshua. At the end of the day, he gave up the game and he's still alive and kicking. No man should ever love a game more than his life. That notwithstanding, come here. For those who are going to be weeping for Raphael Dwamena, I would wish that you would cry for the little children who are dying in Ghana because of the dirty politicians who have no respect for life. Children going to school are drowning at Fana because government is not providing safe boats and life jackets to take them to school and back. Those are the people we should be crying for. We should be crying for the children who are dying in Somalia. Crying for victims of floods. Because it is for no fault of theirs that these things are happening to them. But Raphael Dwamena chose his death. He was told by very good doctors, renowned doctors, that please stop this game or else you will die. But he refused and went after it and died. I have another thing to tell you. Hear me now. There are so many footballers in Ghana who have decided to reduce their ages. And they think they are fooling somebody. They are fooling themselves. All over Africa, there are footballers who are 50 years, yet on paper they are only 22. There are footballers all over Africa, my brother, my sister, who are 62, yet they say they are 27, so that they will be able to play football. It's the same way they would also start dying like Raphael Dwamena. Because if you are 62 and you lie that you are 27 and they put you on the same pitch as a 27-year-old, the running, the energy and all that, you wouldn't be able to cope. So you would end up taking drugs and other such things to keep you agile. At the end of the day, you can't cheat nature. You will go down the drain. Under no circumstances, under no hustle, should a man undermine his own health. Today, a lot of our celebrities are dying because they undermine their health. Some of them were eating too much, so they grew pot bellies. Some of them suffered from diabetes. They had to have some of their limbs amputated. Some of them suffered heart problems. My brother, my sister. And it's all because of disrespect for their own health. If a man cannot stay healthy by what he is, then he's a slave to food. If a doctor tells you, stop eating this food, it is going to kill you finally, that is his profession. It is his specialty. He has told you what it is, and you refuse and continue eating that. It means that you are a slave to the food. It's sad that Raphael Dwamena had to go at the age of 28, but he will not have tears from my eyes for him. Sad as it may be, he chose to follow the game of his heart rather than rest his heart for a longer life. There are some other people amongst you who are saying by now, all die be die. He would have died after all. How many of you are ready to jump in front of trucks? How many of you are ready to jump in front of moving trains? How many of you are ready to jump out from tall-story buildings? All in the name of all die be die. You want to keep your life and live a better life. Raphael Dwamena did not think wisely and he went down the drain. The same thing goes to our leaders who continue to paint their hair black, aka Yomo, so that they will continue looking young. Some of them go to China, they get injections left, right, and center, cosmetics all over, so that they may seem to look better. Yes, outwardly, your skin may deceive people, but your heart would actually betray you when the foundations of your health are weak. Somebody write it down. I said when the foundations of your health are weak, no matter the amount of garnishing you put on your skin, your heart shall expose you. Jesus. I said it. Did you hear that? when the foundations of your health are weak, no matter the amount of garnishing you put on your skin, your heart would expose you. And the heart is failing us, exposing us. To God be the glory. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. Remember to share this broadcast, hit on the like button, and comment. We shall be reading your comments at the end of it all. Nobody should ever kill himself like this. This is pure suicide. This is the Blakk Pot. Next story, my youth. Now, the next story we are looking at is interesting. Kennedy Agyapong builds Akpeteshi factory in Volta region. Come here. Hey. The Volta region is the seat of Akpeteshi in the world. We all know that. And I love that. The best Akpeteshi comes from the Volta region. How many people know that? When Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings was a leader of this nation, it was one of the things that he did to make sure that the best Akpeteshi remained the Akpeteshi from the Volta region. You remember when Akpeteshi was illegal in this nation? When people were arrested for selling or drinking Akpeteshi. Rawlings made sure that areas like Georgia and some other such places were given the leeway to produce it in large quantities for a reason. My brother, my sister, Rawlings realized that the area was so rife with raw materials for the production of Akpeteshi. And the people had the expertise. So he went into it and pushed his own people and encouraged them using some bylaws left, right, and center to make sure that all eyes were centered on the Akpeteshi from the Volta region. Today, my brother, my sister, when you go to the Volta region, you realize that some of the worst drunkards are in that area. People tell stories every now and then how there was a drinking competition. They make jokes out of that. And some ethnic groups from all over Ghana came for the competition. And how some people drank a whole bottle in one gulp, and others also came in and drank a whole jerrycan. And some came in and drank a whole reservoir. And when they were going to crown them kings, he said, I don't deserve the king. I am just a messenger. The real competitor is on the way coming. My brother, if this is a messenger who came and drank a whole reservoir of Akpeteshi, then when Togbi himself comes, he will drink all the Akpeteshi in the country, and that will not be enough. It might sound like a joke, but every ethnic group in Ghana has what is known for. We make jokes out of every ethnic group in Ghana. But Rawlings played a role in popularizing Akpeteshi in the Volta region. By popularizing Akpeteshi, he also helped turn some people into drunkards in the area. Today, when you talk about drinking Akpeteshi, the Volta region is number one. Am I right? Is it correct? Volta region, number one. If you take Akpeteshi competition to Kumasi, they will all fail. If it's eating fufu and the feces of Akrantie, Volta region will not come close. It's going to be Ashanti region. Akwakuno and the rest. And if it comes to drinking pito, nobody will come close. Go to Dagati. Go to Frafra. Why am I bringing this long story here? When children in Ghana are born, one of the things that we use to initiate them into the Ghanaian culture is Akpeteshi. True or false? And water. Rawlings helped to popularize Akpeteshi from the Volta. Did he do a good thing? Did he do a bad thing? He absolutely did a good thing. He saw the commercial value of Akpeteshi. He saw how powerful it would be if the whole Africa, if not the whole world, will come down straight up to the Volta region, my brother, my sister, just to drink Akpeteshi. The same way everybody goes to Jamaica to smoke weed. Jamaica is only a little island, a small island. But they go there and they smoke it. Why are they not going to Colombia to go and smoke weed? There's weed in Colombia. There's also weed in America. But everybody wants to go and smoke the Jamaican weed because it's been branded. That's how Rollins helped to brand Akpeteshi in the Volta region. Of course, there are other places in Ghana where Akpeteshi is made. But the best Akpeteshi comes from the Volta region through Agyapong. Is a very smart businessman. He has decided that the Voltarians supported him so much in the primaries of the NPP. And even though he lost finally, he is planning for years to come, the future. He will go there and give them a factory that produces Akpeteshi. If there was a factory that will produce Akpeteshi, and he could make money out of it, I'm sure he will provide that as well. But the easiest and the most commercial right now, having been popularized by Rollins already, is Akpeteshi. Watch the story. Hey, it's interesting. I will construct an ethanol factory in the Volta region for your massive support. This is Agyapong. Ethanol. It's Akpeteshi. It's just a beautiful name for Akpeteshi. My brother, but Akpeteshi, unfortunately, is not for drinking alone. Just like weed is not for smoking alone. What they should have done with the Volta region Akpeteshi was to raise it above drinking. You can drink part of it, but a lot of it could have been used industrially. Oh yes. Agyapong is industrializing Akpeteshi in the Volta region. What a smart guy. I'm shocked at this guy's brains. Run the story. The member of parliament for Asin Central, Agyapong, has promised to build an ethanol factory in the Volta region. Speaking at a Thanksgiving party organized for his campaign team, he expressed gratitude for his team members, particularly those in the Volta region. He was grateful to the delegates in the region for the massive endorsement they gave him in the primaries. According to him, while embarking on this campaign, he pledged to industrialize the country. And one thing he promised to do was construct an ethanol factory if he became president. Mr. Agyapong said that although he did not win the race, he would construct the factory, which will start next year, 2024. Hey! Let me thank the delegates in the Volta region for their wonderful performance and my own central region. These two regions have really supported me. I want to tell the people of the Volta region that I am going to reward them back with the establishment of an ethanol plant. And this is Agyapong speaking. I've spoken to some friends in the NDC about it, and they have helped me to secure some 10,000 acres of land for the establishment of this ethanol plant next year. 10,000 acres. 10,000 acres, you mean? And he said he talked to who? Members of the NDC. That is their stronghold. Gradually, he's eating into the fiber of that stronghold. That's a smart politician. He knows in the Volta, Akpeteshi is one of the most revered, almost next to cat meat. Nobody in the Volta region will eat cat meat without Akpeteshi on the corner. As he's eating the cat meat, Akpeteshi is on one side. I've been to the Volta several times. I was even made Dwamena in Sogakope. So I know the culture of the people. I'm not saying everybody in the Volta region drinks Akpeteshi, and I'm not saying everybody in the Volta region eats cat meat. That's not what I'm saying. The same way you go to Fra land and the delicacy is dog meat. I just finished recording a song about dog meat, and it's a song that is going to be released in that area there. Respect the culture of the people. For me, if we must pour libation to our gods, it should not be schnapps from Holland and some other places. We must pour Akpeteshi from the Volta region. If we must. All our cultural events, if we must drink alcohol, we must not drink any alcohol that is not made from here. Volta Akpeteshi should be number one. Do you understand me? He's gotten 10,000 acres. Bring that story back. 10,000 acres. He spoke to the NDC people and they gave it to him. And he says, if successful, the factory would be a major industrial scale ethanol producer in the West African sub-region, which imports around 60 million liters of ethanol per year. Oh my God, that shit. My brother, do you know the uses of ethanol? Can you guess? Hey, when we all were running left, right, and center, covering our faces like ninjas because of coronavirus, the next thing was sanitizers, all made from ethanol. No water-based hand sanitizer. No, water cannot kill any virus. My brother, they were all ethanol-based. Ethanol is so industrially important that if we start unrolling some of these things, you'll be shocked. Perfume that you use, ethanol. Even food. My brother, my sister, some foods that we eat, we have ethanol in there. Some medicines that we take, ethanol. That's why some of these medicines, when you take them, you fall asleep. Wada. Especially a lot of these cough mixtures and all that. You are told, be careful. If you are driving a machine, do not drink this. Agyapong has moved Rawlins's dream from Georgia to the whole of the sub-region. Nobody ever thought about that. Ethanol. Ethanol. Not even one district, one factory. To Agyapong, I want to say thank you so much. And to my people in the Volta region, please, when this ethanol factory is made, cut down on your consumption of raw ethanol. It's very, very harmful to your health. And rather look at the industrial uses. We all know how dangerous Akpeteshi can be. A word to the wise is in the Volta. My name is Blakk RASTA. This is the Blakk Pot. Come here. When we return, we have more for you. Hey, still ahead, we have some dangerous information coming up. Hey, very sad information. When we return, we would also be reading your messages. Keep your messages coming in. Hey! Wayo!
Blakk Pot. Coco show, man.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka Coco Show, where we speak truth to power. Let me take you to Kenya. Something is happening in Kenya. Oh my God. Oh my God. Give me the headline, quick, and watch it. It says what? Pastor commits mass murder in Kenya. Is he a pastor? Is he a religious leader? Is he an occultist? Is he a Muslim? Who really is he? This is the pastor. And when you look at his face, Pastor Mackenzie, you can tell that this man is deranged. You can tell that this man is not okay. You can tell that he's sick. You could tell that some demons are manipulating him. But he's done some things that people can never learn from, unfortunately. And I'm going to be proving that soon. Run the story. Now watch this story. And this is from My Joy Online. It says, Kenyan preacher at center of deadly doomsday cult found guilty. Doomsday. And this one is from Africa News, published on the 12th of November, only yesterday, Sunday. Run the story. It says, Paul Mackenzie, the Kenyan preacher at the center of a doomsday cult that led to the deaths of more than 400 people, was found guilty on Friday, but not of their killings. My God. The senior resident magistrate in the town of Malindi, Olga Onalu, instead found Mackenzie guilty of operating a TV studio and distributing films without a license from the Kenya Film Classification Board. Hallelujah. The preacher has been in police custody for more than 6 months now, since he was arrested in April following the discovery of hundreds of bodies in mass graves in a forested area across the 800-acre property in the coastal county of Kilifi. Prosecutors say Mackenzie ordered his congregants to starve to death in order to meet Jesus. However, he has not been formally charged over the deaths, despite being arraigned in court on numerous occasions since his arrest. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions tweeted on Friday that Mackenzie is the prime suspect. And on Friday, he was acquitted of additional charges of influencing children to not attend school and using radical preaching to incite Christians against Hindus, Buddhists, and Muslims. So you see why I mentioned Hindus, Muslims. He will be sentenced for the film-rated offenses on December 1 and could face up to 5 years in prison. Now, on Thursday, prosecutors applied to have Mackenzie held in custody for 6 more months to allow police to complete their investigations, which include the search for dozens of people still missing. Since his arrest, there have been growing calls for the government to regulate churches in Kenya. That's it. So this is Mackenzie. And he's been inserted into it. These are Kenyan authorities picking up dead bodies from mass graves that have deteriorated. How did he do it? He encouraged them to fast to death. Fast, don't eat anything. Meanwhile, he himself was eating. He lied to them that he wasn't eating, but he was eating. And they were dying one after the other. Some other members still believe that the man is still not eating, even behind police cells. Some of them started to die. And whilst they were dying, they were shouting, Jesus, Jesus, because he told them they will meet Jesus. And he buried them in mass graves. Do we all remember Jim Jones? How many people remember this guy? He was the lead pastor of a certain church in America called the People's Church. For the first time, he brought black and white people together in one church and he preached equality to them and all that, not knowing he was a bisexual. He was having sex with both males and females. In fact, he was a troubled child. His upbringing was so bad. His father was nowhere around. His mother struggled to take care of him. He moved from one place to the other, from different household to one different household. He had a troubled upbringing. In fact, when the American authorities got to know what he was doing, he quickly decided to move to Guyana, and I've been there. He moved to a place in the jungles of Guyana, which is now called Jonestown. And over there, he appealed to his church people by deceiving them with antics and punitive measures. After the American authorities got to know of the heinous crime he was doing over there in Guyana, he decided to commit mass murder. He poisoned and injected everybody in the church except a few that were able to escape. These are photos of the people who died. He made them drink poison. In fact, he made them feed the children first with poison. And look at this. They were all dying. And whilst they were dying, they were crying. I've had the opportunity to play the tape on radio. Some of the children crying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." And the man, Jim Jones, told them, "Quiet, you are going to meet Jesus." And look at that barrel there. He filled it with nothing but poison. And they were drinking from it. He told them they should drink, they should drink. They will be okay. Look at the back. So many people. He killed hundreds of people in Jonestown, in Guyana. My brother, my sister, it looks like we are still not learning. No wonder they said that religion is the opium of the people. When it comes to religion, it has no formula. You'll be shocked. Very, very, very educated people are made to do some of these nauseating things. Drink blood. Some of them are made to strip naked and hop around like frogs for a certain blessing. Others are made to do some things that we cannot even say here. I have seen lawyers and medical doctors go to church with cutlasses to go and kill the devil in Ghana. I have seen professors of universities go to church with stones that they are going to stone the devil. If professors, lawyers and judges and medical doctors can be linked, my brother, my sister, into doing some of these things, is gobsmacking to say what illiterates will do. They died, about 400. He buried them in mass graves whilst he was eating and drinking sumptuous meals, waiting to finish everybody. He stopped children from going to school, saying school is useless. He incited his church against Muslims and even Hindus and some other such sects. Now the people of Kenya are crying that religion should be regulated. How do you regulate religion? It's a spiritual thing. Now the court may end up not even finding anything against this man. He didn't force anybody to die. That was the belief. He believed that by fasting they will see Jesus. They fasted and died. How are you going to hold him responsible? That's how come they are finding him for TV license charges and not murder. Please, religion is only a conduit pipe to spirituality. But in our country, we remain in that conduit pipe and never graduate. Write it down. I said, religion is only a conduit pipe to spirituality. But in our country, we remain in that conduit pipe, never ever graduating into spirituality. To God be the glory. I pray that you will use your common sense that God gave you. Yes, he uses things, the foolish things of the world, to surprise the wise, dumbfound the wise. But he also encourages us to use our brains. Dash it. When we return, my brother, we will be reading your messages. In the interim, this It's the Blakk Pot, aka Kuku Show no more, where we speak truth to power. Hey, wayo!
Blakk Pot, Coco Show, man.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kuku Show. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you and we love you. We never take your time for granted. Let your messages flow. All right? All right? So these are messages from YouTube. And God's Way Jata says, live in Kumasi. Woyo. Sweet Papito says, hello. It's rather a beautiful Monday. Jaja bless you. Black Rasta, may you live to see the betterment of our nation. Amen. We are all in this fight, the betterment for the bigger picture, right? Light GHTV, he said, it has been a while. Black Rasta, the only oracle of our time. Continue the good work. I learn new words from you whenever I listen to you. King says, Black Rasta, happy to have you back. Educate me, Rasta. Blessed Lord. Francis Ampim says, good evening, Black. I am enjoying the show live, and it's all about Ghana and Africa. No one is bigger than the truth. Woyo, more fire. Solo, the temple. This is the first time I'm hearing from you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And talk to others about this wonderful channel. Black, always spilling facts. That's true. Sweet Papito says, Baulaya, okay, Baulaya is a curse to Ghana. He will start a religious war. He's a munafiki, very big munafiki. Paul Skimo says, greetings, Black Rasta. Paul Skimo says, Black, I suggest that the NCA should regulate social media to minimize the spread of negative content, emphasizing that despite occurrences of bad things we people in the diaspora see are not in the news. Well, I am not for this regulation. Regulation is almost like gagging, to gag. Social media is free, but you can be arrested for misbehaving. So we should rather increase our forensic power so that we'll be able to track down people who are using it for very bad things, right? That's what I stand for, but not to regulate it. Social media is supposed to be free media. Of course, they try to regulate it. The owners of the spaces try to regulate that. When you put up some, photos, people are supposed to report that. They clamp your thing down. Sometimes they even shut it down totally and all that. But they also warn you that in your country, the laws could come after you. They say that. So those ones are enough, but to regulate it again, social media might just lose its power. I remember when social media came, it's been competing so seriously with the traditional media, right? Run it. Okay, so this is now Facebook. And then Luis Kwabena Adumakun says, I just love this show. We love you too. He says, long live Black, long live Kwabena. Tompo says, welcome, my brother Black. Respect. David Panford says, Black, please, tomorrow play me African Teacher by Burning Spear. No problem. Panford, that name sounds familiar, right? Yeah. All right, so Junior M. Cyril says love, and we say love back. Edward Timmy says, hello, great Black Rasta, I greet you. You are doing a great job for your country. God will continue to protect you from all evil. Blessed Love, Timmy. And still on Facebook, Stephen Elikem Lawson says, good evening, Black Rasta. More Fire. Kingston Bisnab Asimiga says, they can't cheat nature. No way. Legendary Black Rasta. More Fire. And this is Asma Banda talking. Zion Genesis is always saying, hi. Yes. Kweku and Bill. Oh, this is Brother Kweku. And he says, yo, he's all the way inside Chicago. Oh my God, in Illinois, Chicago. He says, mental health is a major concern and must not be ignored. Please seek help. Talk to the experts, please. I love that. Please. This is a very, very good piece of advice to us. Seek help. Seek help. You know why he put that out? Because of the pastor's issue. Yes. A lot of our pastors have mental issues. They dream and see goats chasing each other. They come and give to us as prophecies, and we believe that. Before we realize, we've messed up ourselves. Of course, we have good prophets too, anointed prophets as well. You can't rule out that. Kingston Bisnab Asemiga says, Ashanti's booze too. Yeah, we know. Everybody boozes. But I'm only saying the headquarters of Akpeteshi in Ghana. And it was intentional. Rawlings created it. And I can mention other headquarters too. Every region has a headquarters for something. So don't see it as a tribal or an ethnic lash. No. I know that you are not looking at it in that sense. Of course, hey, my brother, if you bring the Asante Bushman and bring the Volta Bushman together, don't let me say what I'm saying. My brother, you cannot teach an old monkey the path to the forest. When the Volta was busily engaged in Akpeteshi production, Ashanti was busily trying to find cassava and learn how to mix it with plantain to make fufu. Jude Asigiri says, more fire, senior man. Blessed Love. Yes, that's why we have a saying. We say, no matter how a dog can misbehave, it will never dare misbehave in the vulgar market. Look at how dogs are misbehaving in Accra. Go to BROUHAHA region. They are all misbehaving. Barking by heart. There's a house next to my house in my area there. The dogs in the night, they bark like human beings. There are some cats around my area there. Hey. The other day, we brought a stranger in there. He ran out of the house. He said there were some babies at the back there. Mama! You are wondering, are these cats or they are human cats? You know how I was able to deal with those cats? The next tenant who came into that house, I made sure I selected somebody from the Volta. Every day you come to me and say, Akpe, Black Rasta, Akpe Sia, Akpe Kaka. And people did not understand, but we understood. He saved his money for beef, saved his money for fish, original fish. Now at night you will. Now the dogs, I know who to bring there. I'm warning them. I have a few flat friends, Agati friends. Next tenant will be those. We'll see which dog would bark by heart. Next story, my youth. Quick. All right? Hey, we still have more. All right, so next story. And please, pay attention. Syntax BROUHAHA. You're going to learn something new today. Syntax BROUHAHA. What's a syntax? Hey! Now, this is what a syntax is. The necessary evil. Something that people use. But because other people do not use it, they suffer from the effect of some other person's usage. And for that, we tax those things and we call that sin tax. Hey, what a term. Should I say it again? This is sin tax. Cigarette. You are smoking. I don't smoke. But because you are smoking, I'm inhaling everything. And science even says that those who sit by inhaling the secondhand smoke, they suffer more predicament and consequences than the smokers themselves. You heard that before, right? I remember I took a friend of mine in Takrade to the beach side to meet my people. And my rastas were doing their thing. Yeah, enjoying the thing. We're beating their bingy drums. And when it was time to go home, my friends shouted all of a sudden, Ajay! Adaya, Abada, Ajay! Menanayo, Menanayo. What's the Menanayo? Why are you there, Abade? Abada, Ajay! Menanayo. Muruko police station. My God. My brother, sometimes people use some things that you don't use, but you suffer more from their use. So those people are asked to pay what is called the sin tax. It reminds me of the Bible, Old Testament. How many of you read the Old Testament? There's something called what? Sin, what? Offering. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Old Testament. This is like sin offering. My brother, I am so happy that sin tax is coming to Ghana. A year it's been passed. Hey, those who go and fell trees in the forest and call that timber, they should pay sin tax. Sin tax is more than the normal tax. You pay extra. Fishermen are also supposed to pay sin tax because they are degrading the sea. By what chemicals they use in there. Some of them use explosives. Mining companies must pay sin tax. People who drive cars must pay sin tax. You know why? Because they are polluting the atmosphere. We should look at all these things. Pack up the tax. We will see fewer cars on the roads and we'll be better off. Go to Holland. Go to Venezuela and some other countries. Prime ministers are riding bicycles. It's not because they can afford cars. It's because they don't want to sin, let alone be asked to pay a sin tax. Do we get it now? Hey! In Ghana, there's a problem with sin tax. Did you ever hear about sin tax? Nana Akufo-Addo is the king of taxes. Taxation king. Hey! The last president who passed whilst he was in office, Atta Mills, he was a tax expert, but he didn't even give us as many taxes as we are getting from Nana Akufo-Addo, who doesn't know anything about taxation. Write it down. I'm saying that even the tax professor, Atta Mills, did not levy so much taxes on Ghanaians like Nana Akufo-Addo is doing. Today we have something called sin tax, which I support. I support taxes as long as they would help us develop. Run the story and watch this story. This is from My Joy Online. It says, imposing sin tax on tobacco users will deter the indulgence. And this is Labaran Musa. Run it, my youth. Labaran Musa. The prevalence of non-communicable diseases in Ghana is said to kill over 94,000 Ghanaians every year and render others disabled. Did you hear that? Non-communicable diseases. The government, through sin tax, which has the backing of the World Health Organization, seeks to control tobacco use. However, research findings indicate that the tobacco industry is frustrating the implementation of the excise duty amendment law passed by Parliament last year, which imposes additional costs on tobacco products. The director of programs at Vision for Alternative Development Ghana, Labaran Musa, says the implementation of the sin tax will improve public health and generate considerable revenue for the government. Dash. Awa enum cigarette. Awa eshu bonto. Awa eye galamse. Awa echi insumnam. Ode etua sin tax. It will help us. So that we, those who are suffering from your bad habit of smoking, your bad habits of destroying flora and fauna, and if you burn rubbish, you pay sin tax. You are polluting the environment. A drive tax car, or there you sin tax on me. That's what you have to do. You understand that? My brother, my sister. Thank God that sin tax has finally been christened and given a good name. To God be the glory. Next issue. Watch it. Hey! He says cement factories closed down. Is it for sin tax? All these factories must pay sin tax. Pollution. But they brought one to my area the other day. Wager Road there. They put a factory there, cement factory. Hey! You wake up and every day is gloomy. Why? Quarries. You have quarries sited in residential areas. Why? Run the story, my youth. Watch this. And this story is interesting. How many people remember this man? It was with this man I went to the Parliament House. Remember when the parliamentarians invited me to come and show them which one of them smoked marijuana. That's him. There are so many photos of me and him. Alex Dodo. He is now the boss of the Ghana Standards Authority. It used to be called the Standards Board. I've visited him a number of times. He's a very good friend of mine. He's closed down 3 cement factories in Ghana. 3 cement factories shut down. Ghana Standards Authority accuses them of using inferior materials. The Ghana Standards Authority has shut down the operations of 3 cement manufacturing companies due to the use of inferior materials in their cement production. The companies are Zing An Safe Cement Ghana Limited, located at Ejuso, Kumasi. Cement Ghana Limited, located at Ofinso. And Unisem Cement Limited, Ghana, located at Bekwai, all in the Ashanti region. The move is part of a larger effort to crack down on substandard cement production across the nation. The crackdown is being spearheaded by the GSA, Ghana Standards Authority, under the auspices of the parent Ministry of Trade and Industry. My brother, dash it away. Dash it. It's a very long story. You see, apart from the fact that they use substandard materials, a lot of them don't even have proper environmental certificates. EPA. The other day, the people of Dodowa, some people called me there, that there was a quarry there. Anytime it blasted, it was like an earthquake. The residences were shaking. The dust, the rock pieces flying on their roofs. And when I went, it was a Chinese company. At first, the Chinese company refused to talk to me. When I was leaving, Chinese woman came out and was calling me back. Obviously, she had been told that this is a dangerous guy. You treated him like just any other guy. He's going to make sure that you guys suffer. When I went back, they were now talking to me about how they normally warn the people before they fire the thing. And I first asked them, do you have a certificate? They said yes, and they had it. EPA gave them a certificate to go and locate a quarry. You know what a quarry is? They mine rocks for construction in a residential area. The closest house to that thing was about 100 meters. No, 50 meters. Close. They will blast this thing on the hills and houses all over will be shaking. Those of you who know Dododoa, that quarry there, they were talking and talking and talking. I'll keep the rest of the story for now, because we are still dealing with this issue. Why is EPA behaving like an impotent company, outfit? Now, Alex Dodu has decided to close down this. How many of you remember the first laws ever written in history? They say it's by Hammurabi. How many of us remember Hammurabi of Babylon? One of the laws was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Do you all remember that? Written by Hammurabi, and he claimed to be getting the laws from the Babylonian god. Do you remember? Lawyers know this very well. I studied this in primary school. The second law, he wrote only 2 laws. You know what the second law said? Kai, I thank God for this retentive memory. I studied this in class 4. It's still here. 2 laws. The second one said what? If a builder fails to build a house well, and it falls and kills the owner, the builder must be put to death. How many people know the motto or the slogan of Ghana Cement? Gasem, the nation's builder. So the cement is the builder. If you make inferior cement and I use that to build my house and it falls and kills me, you should be killed according to the laws of Hammurabi. Hammurabi. Remember Babylon? You remember the story of Gautama Buddha? All the way from India and those areas. Hammurabi and all those people. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar and all those people. Historical figures. Babylon. These were the laws he wrote. An eye for an eye. Unforgiving law. Ukamia mekaubi. Utu memenia misumetu dieno. Utu miwinea. And if a builder fails to build a house firmly and it falls and kills the owner, the builder must be killed. No for like the laws of Moses, unforgiving. Please come here. Can we tell ourselves that it won't end with cement and all that? We would also go to the factories. Those that are producing biscuits that have worms inside. Those that are producing nonsense. Those that will sell some kind of meat to us. And when you open the meat, you see Gogomi playing football like Manchester United and Arsenal. Or that you take your money and buy sickness. Standard board. That's your work. You should be radical about it. In America, hey, I remember when I was in England and I was going to work in a pizza company because my friend said, oh, you can't be home. Let's go. Let's do some work and blah, blah. And I accompanied him there. They gave me training. You have to wear your gloves. You have to wear a beard snood. For the first time I heard something called beard snood. You wear it like that over your head and it covers your beard so that hair pieces won't fall in the food. Pizza. Then you would wear another one, face mask. Covers your whole mouth and your nose, only your eyes. And you wear a long gown. You are like a mortuary man making pizza. So anytime I see pizza, I respect it so much. What it went through. For the first time I saw cheddar, mozzarella cheese, what cheese, pork. And Indian Muslims who were dealing with the pork, they didn't like it, but for the money, you pick the pork, subhanallah. Okay, subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. I remember Abdullah and Zafrullah Khan in England, years back, 2004, thereabout. For the money, They were doing the pork and praying for forgiveness. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Crying and doing it for survival. For you to eat your pizza. But there was one thing they told me in England that I will never forget. That this training is supposed to make you keep people alive. If you see one cockroach anywhere in the big establishment, report it, we're going to close it down. One cockroach. Hey! And I was working in Volta. I think I worked there for 20 days. And I got fed up because I had to run after the bus in the snow and all. I said, this is not fun for me anymore. And I left it. 20 days. When I was leaving, my supervisors were crying, oh, you're so brilliant. I was even helping my supervisor with her spellings and all that. Sometimes I would look at them, little education, I was more educated. Yet they were taking the hefty sums and I was just said, nah, David. I have work to do at home. I'll leave. When I was leaving, they were crying. We will increase your pay. We're gonna increase your pay. British people, that's how they say pay. Say pay. We increase your pay. You see, we'll increase your pay. Say pay. Keep your pay. I'm going to school. My brother, one cockroach is a danger to the multitudes. Here, Massa. Recently, what's that thing? The company that was pushing people's head into pepper and, you know. What? Mawako. I'm sure in those places, when they even see cockroaches, they'll catch them and fry them like ngongo with fried rice for you to eat. We have no respect for the health of the people. We sell food by the gutter. Somebody told me that, hey, the food rice that is sold by the gutter, de papa. Ntafre nyina na nam so. Hey, ema eduane no ye de. Eduane ye de enu na ntafre efa ho. No once na. That means food that is nice. That is the one flies and cockroaches like to eat. So you should rather praise the cockroaches and then the flies for coming around. Jesus. You see the mentality? Ube yare. Ubenya yare awusi umami before being higher. That's it, my Lord. That's it. We have one more story, right? Or two. One. So this is the last story now. And we are done. Watch it. It says CEDI bound to flop more during festivities. Ghana CEDI is one of the worst performing currencies in the world. And is going to fall even more. I'm not the one saying it. The festivities are coming. They will cut more money and push on you so that you will think there's money in the system. But the goods that are supposed to match the influx of the cash will not be there. So prices would up. Simple economics. Oh, you're right there. Yeah, I wonder. This Christmas, you're going to see a lot of money around you. But go to the market, prices are going to be like this. That's inflation. Things that you use to buy for 20 cedis now will sell at 90 cedis. Inflation. Run the story. We expect marginal depreciation of CEDI going into festive season. Association of Forex Bureau. That's what they are saying. That's it. I'm done. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. A lot of the things are imported. And as long as the CEDI depreciates against the dollar, it's going to make prices increase. We are importing unemployment into our country. And our people are only thinking about loan. I'm done. I thank you. I appreciate you for coming along. Let's look at your final comments and we are done. Bring the comments, quick. All right, so this one is from Facebook. Stephen Elikem Lawson says, Wayo, Jampana. Richard says, God bless you for the good work for our dear motherland. Thank you. Tompo says, why only 5 years in jail for this man? Yes, they have found him guilty for the license, TV license that he has a TV station, and he's using it to do a lot of bad things. So that's what they are charging him for. But the real thing, the death of the over 400 church members, they are yet to arrive at that. Yeah? Kingston Bisnab as Simega says because he's not directly involved in killing them. Okay, well, so that's another aspect, but they haven't reached there yet. Tom Poe says his story was made a movie called Eating Alive. Jim Jones, I watched it earlier. It in the early 80s. Yes, you are right. There are a lot of movies made out of that. It's sad, my brother. I went there and I saw shoes still there, smelling of human presence. Luis Kwabena Adomako says, Blakk, how I wish the youth of Ghana will learn from this history of Black Pot Show. They will. Well, Emmanuel Warden says, fire. He says, how is Dumso in Ghana? Well, time after time, we see Dumso. But it's not as bad as it used to be. I hope that it doesn't get any worse. Straight Talk says, watching from New Jersey. Blessed love. Ellington, or which part of New Jersey? Kumi Adam says, watching live from Kenya. So Kenya, you know that pastor, right? Mark Romeo Forrest says, respect, Professor Blakk. Love and respect. And this is now YouTube. Mark Hendricks says, Rasta never get weary. Big up yourself, Blakk. And Infotainment Channel says, fire. Bobo Man says, keep the fire burning, Black Rasta. Petrina Otu, hey, how are you doing, Petrina? Greetings, Black Rasta. God bless you and keep you. And then Soleji Mawena says, good evening, Black Rasta. Another beautiful Monday again. More fire. Woyo. So we love you. I want to say we appreciate you. Please continue to share the broadcast. And remember to also subscribe to our channel. Today, you realize that I'm a little under the weather, right? I'm feeling some funny pains around my neck, and I feel some stuffy nose and all that. Yeah, but I know what it is. I just need some good rest and some herbal tea. I will return tomorrow with more fire. Until then, continue to pray for Ghana. Continue to pray for me. I love you. Professor Albion Mens, I love you. I love you. I love you. Hey! Whoa!
Bawa